loss of property is staggering at this point.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin was on Capitol Hill testifying before a Democratic-led House committee. Mnuchin saying that a new stimulus package is needed and the package should be bipartisan. Both sides have been meeting to discuss a deal. This is USA Radio News.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I think just taking the balance of nature, I really feel like I just plain old-fashioned feel better. And it's really a noticeable thing. So that to me is significant. It really is.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
While you have free time and you're sitting at home and you ponder what kind of gifts to buy for someone, PatriotDepot.com has you covered from puzzles, games, novelty items. If you're looking for some unique style items when it comes to the president, for more you can check out PatriotDepot.com. Call 844-377-8052. That's 844-377-8052 or PatriotDepot.com. Use promo code USA.
White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows says the real sticking point as far as a new stimulus bill goes is state and local aid.
Right now, it doesn't need to be a bailout as much as it is just an additional help to provide some stability to those local governments that have lost revenue during this unprecedented time.
Meadows speaking there on CNBC. California saw its deadliest month of the coronavirus pandemic in August, with 3,745 deaths. California has the most cases of any state with 700,000, but is 21st in the nation when adjusting for population. Despite the record number of deaths in the state has improved on several measures. Infection and hospitalization rates are both steadily declining for over a month now. California has been one of the strictest states regarding reopening. More news can be found online at USA Radio. This is USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is not appearing in public on September 1st. That's according to his campaign. The Biden campaign saying there will be a virtual fundraiser on Tuesday, but they're told not to expect any pooled movement from Biden for the rest of the day. Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf telling Fox News that the Department of Justice is investigating the heads of Black Lives Matter and Antifa over violent rioting that has broken out in Democratic-controlled cities across the United States.
Well, this is something I've talked to the AG personally about, and I know that they are working on it. Look, we've seen about 300 arrests across this country regarding civil unrest and protesting, violent protesting, I would say, criminal protesting, criminal rioting occur. About 300 arrests. About a third of those or 100 of those arrests have been in Portland specifically, and I know the Department of Justice has charged about 74 or 75 individuals there in Portland with different federal crimes, and we'll continue to see how those investigations are going. We have seen groups and individuals move from Portland to other parts of the country.
Right.
We had about 175 arrests in Kenosha. Almost 100 of them were from out of state. So we know they're moving around. We've seen them in D.C., in Sacramento, and elsewhere. They're organized. We've seen similar tactics being used from Portland and other cities across the country as well. So we know that there's organization. I know the Department of Justice is also looking at that as well.
For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
air air from the America Matters studios in Northern Nevada on KCKQ 1180 AM and live stream on YouTube at LeRue Press. That's LeRuePress. And on Facebook on our What's the Story page. That was new, right, guys?
What a mouthful. She didn't even take time to breathe during that, did she?
Yes, you can comment on any of those places, or you can call us at 844-790-8255. And you can always text us also at 775-237-2266. And now I can say, hey, guys, how you doing?
Good. Awesome. Hey.
I wanted to make sure I got all that in.
Isn't it great to have Ed back today? We have somebody to pick on.
Yes, somebody's got their sound on there.
See?
Yeah.
1 week he wasn't
See,
here.
April?
And he
messed
needs
up
to be
already.
retrained.
What an amateur. Right? What did you guys say about me last week?
Lots.
Hey,
Did
hold
you
on.
listen?
Let's let April jump in here. You guys keep forgetting she's hanging out there.
That's okay.
Hello.
I was just saying that's his vacation that made him have cobwebs. Can't remember.
That's what it is. See? She's even giving you an excuse. How about that?
Thank you.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, my. He did have a vacation, didn't he?
Yeah,
Wow.
That's not the Ed we know and love.
Press and get all that out, and it takes about like 3 days to get back.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of the third day back.
All right. Very good.
We did start a watch
maybe you can
party.
share the show. Oh, good. Yeah, because I was going to try and do that, but for some reason, it's just not liking me. I did fine on Basil's show just a minute ago, but for some reason, mine is not wanting to cooperate. So anyway, I want to say thank you to all the people that share our show, like you, Ed.
Oh, thank you.
And to our sponsors, Susie Hussner, for the music she provides. Visit SusieHussner.com. And to Light Black Productions, who produces her music. Visit lightblackproductions.com. Makes it easy, right? The name is the website. That just...
So branding, we talk a lot about branding. They do an excellent job.
Yep, they do. So what are we going to do today? I got some interesting little topics for us.
That always makes for a good show.
It does. We're going to talk a little bit in the publishing world about what's going on. Some interesting things. Powell's is doing something interesting. And then we're going to discuss a little bit about the fact that we're printers as well as publishers and some of the printer problems that are out there due to the COVID. The good old COVID.
So they don't have like spray cleaners to spray on paper?
No, we do. We have a UV
UV
light that we can use on our books.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So we've got that part covered.
It has the virus? Oh my gosh.
No,
you're right at the precipice. This is going to catch on. It's already mutated to physical machines.
There you go. And we're going to have a book blitz today. We're going to talk about exercising.
Are we going to have the music?
Of course. Christian.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
I know.
We can't do it without Christian, and he makes sure that all gets set up properly.
Awesome.
He's a good guy. And then, of course, Reno Gal Says with April Kempler. April, do you have a topic for us, or are we going to be surprised?
Oh, no, I have a topic.
Okay. But I guess we're going to be surprised.
I'm going to say almost unanimously we'll be surprised.
Okay. All right.
Well, I guess you could just say you're more ready than you think.
Oh, I like it. Than you think.
That sounds like a good tease for life.
Maybe so. So those things kind of all involve change, and then want to know if we're going to leave everything to chance. There is, in the current events, we're going to cover Operation Not Forgotten, the story that disappeared, and Antifa on campus. So those are some of the topics. And I also have a COVID story if we have time, but the first segment's a little bit short sometimes, so we may not get through all that. Yes, sir.
Well, I was going to say, just hot off the press, I don't know, were you listening to our favorite talking head?
You're going to talk about Ms. Pelosi.
That's it. That's it.
It actually flashed up on my phone, so I did see that story.
That's great.
I'm in the
Ms.
dark.
Pelosi decided to go to the hairdresser, and the hairdressers are not open. Oh, oops. And they caught her on film.
So I don't know what's more entertaining, that she didn't know that, or the fact that she realized she finally needed some help.
I just think, the reason she got outed is because the person who owns the salon outed her because she was mad. She said, "We can't even open," and now she's coming in here and getting her hair done.
And
What's that all about?
using a hairdryer?
And using a hairdryer.
Oh, my goodness.
Was there a mask on it?
I don't wear a mask when I blow dry.
No, it wasn't. That was another thing. She's walking around without a mask.
I do not wear a mask when I blow dry my hair. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not happening.
You can't make this stuff up, can you?
I know. And then we'll continue with our topic about exercising. And want to know, are you? And Ed's going to kind of cover some of that stuff.
Yeah,
because
love that subject.
He was out exercising last time we were on.
Exercise comes in many forms.
It does, doesn't it? Yes.
And you gave us wide latitude, didn't you?
Did.
Well, I took advantage of that.
Oh, hooray. All right. Well, we're going to also have from Doug Ashby some fire updates. And then story time. Want to know if you have a story. And I'm also going to talk about a teacher. I want to find my little headline there if I can. A teacher who, she actually did some transformation for her children, for her classroom. So.
Like Harry Potter, like that gal who turned into a cat.
I don't know.
And then back.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it.
Transfiguration.
Maybe. Could be.
Oh, all right. Nice.
I think you're getting the Bible mixed up with Harry Potter.
Transfiguration is transfiguration.
That's pretty funny. All right. So we will be right back after these messages from our wonderful sponsors, and we'll get right into our topics. All right. This is What's the Story.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LeRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LeRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LeRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LeRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
As humans, we ask ourselves all kinds of questions. But what if we were forced to ask ourselves a question every day that affected the outcome of the most basic things, the most important things in our lives? The question is, what is your sexual orientation, or the answer is the difference between keeping your job or getting fired. The answer is the difference between staying in your home or getting evicted. The answer is the difference between receiving medical treatment or not. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against people based on their answer to this question. LGBT Americans have the right to say I do, but they don't have the same basic rights as everyone else. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill and just past that vintage donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. 827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? You know, when Craig was doing our engineering for us, he would always do something right before we came back to make me laugh. And I think Ed's taking his place.
That's right. I remember that.
Well, you know that's a loan officer's credo, right? Get ready, get your information, smile, and dial.
I remember the smile and dial days.
Yeah.
Not a fun time.
What? It's just a barrel of monkeys.
It's awful. That was when I was doing financial planning. We did the smile and dial. It's lots of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to talk today a little bit in this segment about publishing during the COVID times and has it changed? And I know that from the authors that I've heard from, yes, it has. Obviously, from the whole world has changed. But from their perspective, it's hard. It's hard to, what's the first thing you do, right, April? I mean, you can't do a book signing in the traditional fashion.
No. Well, yeah, I don't know. I haven't even tried.
Right. And I think that's what happened. It kind of squashed people. It made them feel they hunkered down. They stopped doing things, and so
and bookstores were closed.
Right.
For a long time.
Right. Exactly. So just it definitely has changed. So I think it's interesting that during this time, I wanted to kind of set us up with that because I saw this article and. It's on lithub.com, and I will make sure that it gets posted on the website so that if anybody wants to read it, they can. And it's about Powell's Books. And if you don't know who Powell's Books is, they are in Oregon. And I believe, aren't they in Portland, April? Powell's?
Powell's.
You don't know who Powell's is. Okay.
I know Powell's. I thought San Francisco for some reason.
Oh, maybe they have a number of them, but this particular one I think is that I'm thinking of is in
okay,
Oregon.
Because I've never been to Portland actually.
So let's check that out. Isn't that great? So you rely on your technology and it doesn't come through for you.
That's why you got to have backup.
I know, and I usually do.
That's why in my backpack I always carry a Perry Mason or two.
Well, this is really ironic, though, isn't it? That it doesn't want to.
Yeah, Paul says it's in Portland.
Yes, that's what I thought. So I'm trying to click onto lithub.com so that I can share this story with you. And it's just, I guess.
It's currently closed.
Powell's?
Two locations. Yeah, one location's open, two are closed.
What's going to happen is Powell's is. Oh, I just thought that to somebody who says they're going to stop selling on Amazon. Still do new books on Amazon, but we do not do used. It's just not worth it to us. That is obviously
as a business,
an individual, an individual choice, right? Hang on, I'm going to try and find this for us because I think this is an important story.
One of
it's
the
worth a little bit of dead air for that.
On the site is Amazon. Why is Amazon bad for books? I guess somebody wrote an article about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did find this article. So thank you, April, for helping me out there. Powell's Books, the venerable independent bookstore in Portland, has had enough with Amazon and will no longer sell books through the tech giant's marketplace. In a letter to the store's community of customers on Wednesday, Powell's owner and CEO Emily Powell said she was taking the stand to mark Independent Bookstore Day, which falls on Saturday. For too long, we've watched the detrimental impact of Amazon's business on our communities in the independent book-selling world, Powell wrote. We understand that in many communities, Amazon and big box retail chains have become the only option. And yet, when it comes to our local community and the community of independent bookstores around the U.S., we must take a stand. So, they go on and on about all of that. Well, I'll tell you, the advertising stinks. So she says, we remain grateful for your online orders. After an initial burst of support in mid-March, after we closed our store, sales have continued to decline, where we are doing everything to find ways to keep our operations open. So, when you look at a huge store like Powell's, who's been around for a really, really long time, it just shows you how much the pandemic has affected everyone. Right? Every industry, and again, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, I know your industry has not been hugely negatively impacted, but you might feel that fallout later, right? I mean, you don't know at this point.
I totally agree with you.
It's
changed.
So you have to
it's changed
really
the way we've done some things,
right?
Like appraisals, right? They can't go in homes often, so there's some. Right, they've made arrangements around that. More appraisal waivers, and other things that may stay, right? That may be efficient,
right. So that was the main story that I wanted to talk about, because there is Bookshop that is opening up, and I am going to make a wild guess and say that I'll bet Powell's is going to be working with Bookshop, because Bookshop is challenging the big giant Amazon and trying to offer the services that Amazon offers on their website. So as an independent bookseller, we've been in touch, and there's a couple things we have to do in order to be able to use their website. But we're looking at that as well as an option instead of the big giant.
Can't you do both?
Could.
Okay. Yeah.
Could.
Bookshop. I never heard of Bookshop, but back in the day, I used to.
They're
do
brand new. That's why.
Oh, okay. But did you? No, that's a good reason. Are you familiar with Abe Books? Abe Book Career, I guess you could call it. Abe Books was one, and I rarely did Amazon. People used to call it the Nile. They never said Amazon because. And it took me a long time to learn what's the Nile. I had to learn the lingo of the bookstore owners.
Yep, it's true.
And they were not friendly. I mean, this was 10 years ago, and they had no friendly attitude about them back then. So.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to hate any, organization or.
Oh yeah, you do. It's easy to hate big, right? Big.
But I don't like to hate big because I want to be big. So why would I want to hate big?
But then it turns the tables because so we hate big out of like hating the New England Patriots out of respect.
Well, look at big. Look at Sears, Roebuck, J.C. Penney's.
Right.
I mean,
all gone.
Well, like I told my son Fox, right? So the parabola, right? You always have the parabola. All businesses have a lifespan.
Yep.
Right. And if you're looking at the delisting of ExxonMobil, right, which was like the largest company in our country for 10 or 15 years before Apple.
Yeah.
Right. And so anyway, interesting stuff there. But everything has a life cycle, right? And ours may be starting slow. Nowhere are we near peaking. In my business or you, but some folks are, right?
So my next story relative to publishing is from the midlandpaper.com, and again, I will post this on What's the Story. Printer jam, serious supply issues disrupt the book industry's fall season. Capacity issues at the two largest printing companies are among the factors creating havoc for authors and publishers. This spring, when the pandemic forced bookstores across the country to close and authors to cancel their tours, many editors and publishers made a gamble, and they postponed dozens of publications of titles, betting the things would be back to normal by the fall. Now, with September approaching, things are far from normal. Books that were bumped from spring and early summer are landing all at once, colliding with long-planned releases after making this one of the most crowded fall publishing seasons ever. And now publishers are confronting a new hurdle: how to print all these books. And they're having some challenges with that. So,
I love the title.
Yeah.
Printer Jam.
Printer Jam.
Yeah.
I thought it was good too. It got my attention.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's such a bummer because there's such an opportunity there, right? With movies doing it, right? They can't produce either.
Right.
So there was a chance to get a leg up.
Right. So the two largest printing companies in the U.S., Quad and LSE Communications, have been under intense financial strain. And, of course, the pandemic has only made it worse. LSE declared bankruptcy in April, and the company's sales fell nearly 40% in the fiscal quarter that ended June 30th, a drop that the company attributed partially to the closing of a lot of the retailers. At the same time, there's been a surprising spike in sales for print books, a development that would normally make you happy, but it's now forcing publishers to scramble to meet the demand. So there are the printing capacity hasn't been there for a while, and then COVID comes along. So there's a backlog, and at the same time, so many other things are happening everywhere else. We're challenged with paper supplies. We're challenged with a lot of different things as printers, and I'm sure that theirs are on a different level, but still having the same thing. So I'm going to post this article as well, and if you're in the business, you might want to read it. It's quite informative, and it's long.
Well, it sounds fascinating.
There you go.
To me.
I know. So I figure people who are interested in the business will want to read it. So we will be right back, and we're going to do some book blitzing. We'll be right back.
Destination Midtown. Experience the difference. Reno's premier shopping extravaganza. Everything imaginable and more. Midtown matters. Get down to Midtown.
Ponderosa Meats, the anchor of Midtown since 1954. USDA choice, USDA prime cut. Ponderosa grass-fed beef. Call 775-322-4063. Ponderosa Meats, tradition, quality, and prime service.
Midtown Reno. Experience the difference. Get down to Midtown. Midtown matters.
Matthew.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba,
please be done.
Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
Oh, yeah! It was like lightning. Everybody was fighting. And the music was soothing. And they all started grooving. And the man at the back said, everyone attack. And it turned into a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I wanna want you. It'll turn into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
Welcome back. So, April, are you happy now? You got to hear the book Blitz music?
Yeah, brings back some old memories.
Yes, well, one of these days soon you're going to join us in here again.
I am.
You need
It's
to do
coming.
that.
It's coming. I don't know when, but it's going to be here.
I don't know.
Well-
Doug's storing stuff over there on your seat. Looks
I
to me
know,
like it's
I know. You
piling
boys
up.
have
Hold on,
moved
let me put
in.
my
I moved
backpack
out
over
and
there.
you moved in.
That's funny. Well, I'm going to tell you, you need to stay tuned after you have to leave after the top of the hour, because in my current events, if I have time, I'm going to cover something about the COVID, and I'm going to give you two different sides, and you and Paul need to listen. So,
Okay, I won't tune. I'll leave it going.
yeah, just leave it on. It'll be in the first, 10 minutes or so. So,
Okay,
you
I
know.
look forward to it.
All right, very good. See, you let me do a little teaser there, just because. But let's talk about exercising. That was kind of our topic for today. We kind of have been doing a little bit of theme stuff, and so I said, well, let's talk about exercising in Book Blitz. Let's have everybody pick a book about exercising and in all forms. And so I know I've got some creative folks here, so I'm really anxious to hear what kind of exercising they're going to talk about. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Oh, I'm surprised. Yes, fire away.
Wow.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Okay, so my Book Blitz is an app for your phone and or computer. It's called Map My Run. It's a free app through Under Armour, and what it does for me, like I know that Damani Ranch Park is 3 miles around. You just hit like exercise now, put it in your pocket, and it tracks you. And it'll tell you how many miles, how long it took you. So for me, that means that hike, right, is 42 minutes. I can fit it in. Or it's an hour and a half. I can fit it in.
That's really
Or
nice.
if you're like a health coach, right, you can go, hey, I did this. Here it is.
And it's pretty accurate.
Yep, really
Okay.
accurate, and it's free. I just use the free. You can
Nice.
get into it, but the free stuff tracks you. You get little ads like, "Hey, how do runners get more fit?" Right? I mean, you get the whole Under Armour
GPS? It
ad
must use
stuff.
GPS then.
But it does have, right? It uses your
it
GPS
must,
and
yeah.
tracks it, and you can share it with friends, which is a cool thing. So if you're exercising as, let's say, 6 of you, right? And you're in a group, but you can't see each other, but April could do her exercise and post it, and they'll see that they'll see the post that April's exercised, and it'll make them want to exercise.
Right.
I'm in a group like that. And I'll see somebody exercise, and I'll go, "Dad, got it, man. They're not getting on me. I'm going out tomorrow." Right? So it's motivational, it's tracking, and it's easy. It's a free app.
It sounds very good. I didn't know you were a runner.
I've never really been a runner, but I've always been a hiker and active, whether it's biking. I've kind of always been a baller. I'm a reluctant runner, but hiking and just like the trip I took, that's another thing, just disengage. One of the parts of my life is a couple of times a year I totally disconnect and I reorganize, and I was telling Doug before the show, set goals for the rest of the year for me. Right. So I'm going to do yoga 3 times a week. Right. I'm working with someone on my diet. It needs to get better. Right. All these things that make me keep striving to be better.
So you took the exercising literally.
I did.
And that's excellent.
You know,
That's excellent.
I use an app like that, and I absolutely love it. And you can set it where every 5 minutes or so, that comes on there and go, way to go, this is great, and it tracks where you're going.
Well, I
it
like
tells
those
you.
positive messages
Oh, I
anyway.
do too. And it also keeps track of the elevation from, the elevation change, the pace that you're setting. Yeah, I
And it
I
spits
think
out
it's
like
great.
you walk a mile, it'll go 17 minutes and 35 seconds.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Right.
nice.
And so, but anyway, it's benefited
Very
me,
cool.
and it's something I use weekly.
Nice, very nice. So April, are you next?
Yeah, oh, sure. I'm happy to be next.
All right.
Okay, so this is one of I took it literally too, I suppose you could say. My favorite book on the subject of weightlifting is what got me started. It's my fundamental routine. It's my, actually, I just love it. It's Body for Life by Bill Phillips. It's
I've read
old.
it. Yeah.
It's old. And
Yeah.
I was so into this book when I bought it, and I would photocopy the exercises and made a binder. And I like a little nerd, I carried this little binder into the gym with all these weightlift guys, and I had my little notebook.
But it worked
and
for you.
all my little exercises. But hey, it works.
Yeah, it worked
And
for you.
I abandoned it many, many years ago. I can't find my notebook. I can't find this book. I don't know what happened to it. And I went by my memory of what, and it is just.
Well, I have the book if you'd like to.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to come in there. So, well, I'll come by and you come out. Or however that works. But.
No, I have it at home.
This
You can
is
borrow
my,
it.
just my.
I hate those
love
words.
this exercise routine. It's called Body for
hearing
Life,
me.
12 weeks to mental and physical strength. And it works. It works. And it has great reviews to this day. So that.
There you
I
go.
don't
That's
think you
awesome.
need to say any more about it.
That's awesome. Good for you. All
If
right.
you want to get into weightlifting and learn how to do it, this is the book.
That's
for
the
you.
book. That is the book. I learned a lot from it.
Oh,
It's for everybody.
Janice.
It's for everybody, regardless of woman, man, young, old. Weightlifting is good for everybody.
There you go. All right.
I love the way you give us the latitude to go where you want. And I'm hoping this book everybody can relate to. It's Caffeine for the Creative Mind.
Okay.
250 exercises to wake up your brain.
Nice. Very
Is
nice.
that great?
So when right before you get there, you could do the book blitz music, and you're done, man. You are set for the day.
That's
it says
awesome.
it's got over 250 brain-stretching exercises. The
Nice.
exercises are brief, fun, and meant to invoke.
What is it called again?
It's called Caffeine for the Creative Mind.
I
It's
like
by
it.
Stefan Muma. And it was published several years ago in 2006, so it's been around a while. But it just it's something that I need, not the book, the coffee, the caffeine. But I thought that would fit.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Really good. I
Yeah.
really like it. I should do this more often. All right. So that's your pick. And so here I'm going to cheat, and I have 2 picks.
What?
I do, yes.
See, look at it. Absolute power
I
corrupts
know, corrupts absolutely, doesn't
you
it?
Got
You
it.
bet. And my first one is all about exercise. Regular, you need to get out there and do something. And it's called Make All of the Right Moves, Exercises for Couch Potatoes, Athletes, and Everybody in Between. And it's by a physical therapist, and that's why I chose it. I love Body for Life, by the way, but this particular one, I researched it, I looked through, I did as much of the Kindle book as it would allow me to do, and it looks like it's well done. He shows you examples. So I wanted to pick something that was for people that maybe don't, have that enthusiasm to really get up and do a whole lot, but they know they need to, or their doctor told them you gotta do something. So that was just kind of that was my pick. Was
Nice.
Make all the right moves, exercises for couch potatoes, athletes, and everybody in between. So it's for anybody. It cannot necessarily be only for couch potatoes, but I kind of got the feeling it was more, geared toward people that really weren't ready to jump out there.
Things
and go.
that matter, like take the stairs when given a chance.
Yeah,
Right. Simple
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, the
It's all
escalator.
there's little things that you do
Right.
that add up in the long run.
And then my last one is it's about exercising your right to free speech, because you know how big we are on free speech.
So,
and
so
it's,
that's what we got problems with, exercising our
Yeah.
rights to free speech.
Well, this really dovetails in.
let me finish my book.
Okay.
The Complete Infidel's Guide to Free Speech and Its Enemies. And I actually downloaded this book, and I'm going to read it. So I can give you a...
Is it 1 or 2 pages?
It's 8 hours.
Oh, okay.
So it's from Robert Spencer, the New York Times bestselling author of The Politically Incorrect Guide to Islam and The Complete Infidel's Guide to ISIS. So this was written in 2017 when that was totally an issue. And of course, since then we've had some reprieve on that. Unfortunately, what we haven't had a reprieve on is free speech. Our speech is being stunted everywhere, and if you say something, you're politically incorrect in some fashion. No matter what you say, you have to be careful, and that is just not right. That is just not right, and we need to stop allowing ourselves. We're too quiet. We shut up and we say, "Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it." We have to worry about it. We have to worry about it. So,
the snapback is happening.
This dovetails in with jogging fast, too.
Oh, does it?
Sure. With being politically correct, if you aren't, you better learn to run.
You better learn to run. Perfect, Doug. That's great. Books on there as well. I've got Doug's and April's on there, so check these out, and hopefully you can get some exercise in. Don't forget, free speech is important. We'll be right back.
Businesses, writers, check this out. Go to lrpnv.com to get your printing, publishing, and professional services today. Need a virtual office? A place to receive and forward your mail with professional address and suite number for your business? Someone to answer your telephones? Want to rent a conference room for only $15 an hour? What about that book you've been wanting to have printed? LRP Printing and Business Center can do it for you, and they have a professional assistant on site daily, Monday through Friday. Just call 775-356-1004. Need copies, business cards, invoices, books, booklets, or graphic design to help brand you or your business? Just call 775-356-1004 or go to lrpnv.com. With a great selection of new and used books, you can get your printing done and a book to entertain you in your time off. And don't forget, you could have your business sponsoring the Book Hound radio show, just like Andrew Martoni, author of Little Man on the Map, does every week. Just go to lrpnv.com. That's lrpnv.com or call 775-356-1004. They'll provide solutions for your business and writing projects.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theaters held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
I know I need to pay attention to my health, but I just can't seem to find the time. Between rushing to work and taking care of the kids, there's not much time left over for me. So I decided to start small by eating more fruits and vegetables and being more active. And then I got the family to make some changes too. We started by keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter, and I limit the amount of sweet snacks I keep in the house. I've also found some creative ways to add more vegetables to our meals. We're taking more walks, and on the weekends, we head down to the pool at the rec center. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. You don't have to change your entire life to be healthier. Just make some simple changes and include your family. You'll see how easy and fun it can be.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
GreatBasinHighway.com, Great Basin Highway Magazine, radio show. Visit GreatBasinHighway.com and sign up for a free online subscription to our magazine.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And we are back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson, here with all my co-hosts today. The whole team's here.
Exercising our free speech.
Yeah, that's right, and not afraid to do it.
That's great. And now we're going to have Miss April Kempler, who is Reno Gal Says, tell us, or exercise her free speech, I should say, and share her topic of the day.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to have my moment, my speech moment.
Your speech moment.
So last week I talked about a podcast I had been watching. It was inspiring to me, about a barber, and he was relating a story of a guy that came in wanting a haircut, and he said he needed to look a certain way and he needed to get himself ready because there was a man he wanted to work for. And he said, well, why don't you just go, apply? Why don't you do it now? And he said, well, he needed to be ready. But the point is that he was probably already ready, and that this barber went on to relate his personal story of when he went to beauty school and how he had gotten a haircut in this salon, and it was this whole experience with the music, and it was one of the best haircuts he ever had. And he thought, I want to work here. I want to aspire to be in this salon because this is the pinnacle of what I want to do. And so he stated that he sacrificed. He went without many nice dinners. He ate ramen and peanut butter, sandwiches. I don't know what all he ate, but he didn't splurge on steak. He stayed home. He studied. He was diligent. He economized and he sacrificed. And so he finally got to where he wanted to be, or where he thought he should be, to even approach the salon he wanted to be at. And he did get hired there. And when he went in, he noticed that they weren't giving any better haircuts than anybody else was doing. It wasn't anything as special. He had worked all this time and sacrificed when he was ready all along to actually work there. And so the point being is that we need to take stock of ourselves and where we're at, and not postpone when we are actually more ready than we think. And I do this personally with writing. Notoriously awful at my blog and notoriously awful at a lot of things. And you could say I'm a dreamer, maybe, I don't know, but I'm ready. If I don't read this book, and when I read that book on this plot thing or this characterization or this emotional thesaurus, then I'll be ready to put my book together. Well, perhaps I'm ready now. And so perhaps there's other people that are ready for that, whatever dream or career they're trying to achieve. Perhaps they're already there. And so that was part of it. The other thing that book ended really beautifully with this subject was another one. Jordan Peterson is a professor. He's a psychologist. He has a motivation series. He's a brilliant man. I enjoy his thought process. And one of his podcasts was You Will Never Look at Life the Same. And so it talks a lot about committing yourself to what you want to be, figuring that out. A lot of people don't know what they want to do or how they get ready for it in the first place. But once they do find the thing, they have that aim, and they're aiming for that, and they have that purpose, and they organize their life. And every day is an organization of achieving that aim. And so Ed kind of touched on that to me when he said he goes away and he detaches from everything, and you're organizing. So that, when you said that about yourself, that jumped out at me. We all need to reorganize. We need to recalibrate constantly. We're not ever, there's zigs and zags on this path, and you can't give up because you constantly have to keep concentrating on it. You have to keep figuring it out. It's a constant reformulation of the goal, is what Jordan Peterson said. And one of the most beautiful things he said in this was, when you look at yourself and what you want to be, he said, take care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. So that could be in the sense of when we are responsible for a child, or we're responsible for an elderly person, or we're responsible for maybe a plant or something. Take care of yourself like you are responsible for you, and how you would take care of that. We would treasure, we would take care of it, meaning for them, and lay it out. So we need to shift that perspective and take care of ourselves in that same way. This is another thing we come back on, our expectations versus our realities. We're not going to, whatever we set for ourselves, good. It's not like good or ill way. It's not that. It's we may not get everything we set out for, but we're going to get what we want to be. So
we're going to get it all. We're getting it all.
So that's, my 2 cents. I don't know what we call it on Reno Galsaz or what's the story.
I think that
that's
works.
my story.
That's your story, and I think it's a good story.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's really fascinating, right? Some people certainly are procrastinators, but there are others, top salespeople in any field, who have habits. Just like a baseball hitter who goes in and pulls his sock and rubs his hand on his leg and squeezes the bat 3 times. But he's getting in the best shape he can get for that pitch. And oftentimes, I think salespeople are superstitious. I think, I always remember to smile when I call, There are things that I do that are habits that give me confidence to have a good call. And so there's a little, I'll call it rhythm creation before you make those calls.
Right. No, there definitely is. And you have to have it. And if you have negativity right before, it definitely affects that call, no matter what.
Right.
No matter how hard you try and, muster up the other person you want to be, it's hard to do.
Right.
Yeah, your actions follow what your brain is telling you, so you're absolutely right on with that. One of the things that I always had in mind with goals and objectives, and I try to teach both my sons this, is that when you set a goal, you also have to put a timeline on it, because if it doesn't have a timeline, it's nothing but a dream. So, you have to set the goal, set a timeline, and then moderate it. So.
I think one of the things that, in working with lots of folks that are coaches of people and in that space and coaching people myself, I think one of the things, and it's just like us, we bring to light so much great value, that we see. But if you don't take these great ideas and incorporate them in your life today, they're gone. And you need to be a great applicator of stuff you learn. That's like April was talking about, that constant pivot, when you're out there and I see something I like, I try to suck it into my routines, my life, I want to use it, and I try to find a way to do that. I think that most folks have challenges incorporating those things, and that's why we don't do more, It's not easy.
Yeah, do you know what I found?
No, it is hard. That was the point too of that podcast, was that it's not easy. It is hard, but if you don't try, then you're not going to get what you want to achieve.
Well, one of the forcing functions that I use on a daily basis, turn off the radio, turn off the TV, because it's nothing but negative. So
but for some people that's
motivational?
Well, it's not that it's motive to do certain things. I need the noise. I need the background noise. It's not a matter of even listening to it. I just need.
I think we're geared the same way.
Sorry.
It's me and Fox, and so when I go home, I turn on the TV. Whether I'm watching anything or not, it's a noise. However, I have radio in the vehicle, so when I'm driving around today, it's a scary place in there.
It's the screaming that
but it was uncomfortable for a while, But I'm learning to spend. It's good time with myself.
Well, and that varies too, because it depends on what I'm doing, whether I turn everything off or whether I have lots of things on. Sometimes I'll have one thing on here, something on my computer, something on in the other room, John's watching TV. Yeah. There'll be like multiple things happening. Yeah. Other times I turn everything off. And then, and then of course John's TV's on.
That's what I told Paul. He's doing several different things, and then we're watching a series and he doesn't remember anything that happened. And I said, well, because you were watching 2 different other things.
He's practicing. It's like my mom. She can listen to an audio book, read a book, and watch a movie at the same time. I'm lucky to keep up with 2.
I'm more of a...
It's like my dad. I'd try and watch a movie with my father, and I'd want him to see it. There's a part. I'm like, you're going to love this part, Dad. And I look over and he's asleep. And I say, well, you're asleep. No, I'm watching. Yeah, how are you watching? Your eyes are closed.
I'm more of a simpleton. I have to have it quiet. My mind is like an Irish setter. It just goes from spot to spot to spot. And if I don't concentrate, I lose it all. So I've got to have it quiet and really pay attention.
That's very funny.
It is interesting how people, well, like kids, right? If your parents demanded and put you in a place of absolute quiet,
right,
and that's how you went to sleep all the time, you need absolute quiet.
You do,
If you're my son, who like fell asleep on bar floors and right, in neighborhood floors, he could sleep anywhere, anytime, right? There's advantages.
Well, he's nights, so she was hearing machines going and things.
They're loving.
I hope so. All right, this is our long break, so if you're on Facebook with us, hopefully you can hang out and check back in with us about 5 minutes after the hour. And we're going to talk some current events and some more exercising, and we will be back in a little bit. This is What's the Story. Thanks for being with us.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
This is America Matters Media Radio, heard worldwide on the web at americamatters.us and on KCKQ 1180 AM, Reno.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
President Trump says violence in major cities across the country is domestic terror.
By and large, this is not peaceful protest. When you walk into an area and you see buildings that are burned down, and then they say it was a peaceful protest, it's not a peaceful protest, and you shouldn't call it a peaceful protest.
President Trump speaking at a law enforcement roundtable while visiting Kenosha, Wisconsin. The president was also asked if he's planning on meeting with the family of Jacob Blake.
Well, we have the pastor here who's tremendous. He's a tremendous gentleman. I'm going to meet him in a little while. He represents the family.
Democratic Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi in a bit of hot water after she took a trip to a San Francisco salon to get her hair done on Monday. In San Francisco, face coverings are mandatory and salons may only cut hair outdoors. Pelosi was seen inside and not wearing a mask. This is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables, one life at a time.
I am very pleased with your product. I haven't been sick since I've been taking this, and I contribute a lot of my energy and my health to your product, and I just want to keep taking it. So you guys just keep making it, okay? I just thank God for your company.
Balance of Nature is now offering 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
While you have free time and you're sitting at home and you ponder what kind of gifts to buy for someone, covered from puzzles, games, novelty items. If you're looking for some unique style items when it comes to the president, for more you can check out PatriotDepot.com. Call 844-377-8052. That's 844-377-8052 or PatriotDepot.com. Use promo code USA.
It was a historic moment when an Israeli delegation arrived in Abu Dhabi to hammer out the details of a peace agreement between Israel and the UAE. USA Radio Network's John Clemens reports.
The sound of the shofar, a ram's horn, at the St. Regis Hotel in Abu Dhabi was the signal for the beginning for the talks as the Israeli delegation met with UAE negotiators. In Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke about the normalization, calling it a historic day, a joyous day for all citizens of Israel, a day of victory for the doctrine of peace for peace.
Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul has called to subpoena Antifa plane records, hotel records, and all travel records along with funding. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Opening a Democratic-led House hearing, House Majority Whip James Clyburn says Congress needs to act to support the economy and the American people.
The most important step we can take to fix the economy in the long term is to get the pandemic under control. But American families are hurting now, and there are urgent steps the administration must take to prevent our nation's economic crisis from becoming a catastrophe.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, testifying before that committee, agrees with the congressman and says the president is ready and willing to act.
I want to emphasize the president and I do support additional fiscal response, and we've been working hard to try to get a negotiated agreement on a bipartisan basis.
Florida's governor is firing the company that processed more than 13 million coronavirus tests in the state. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis firing Quest Diagnostics for dumping nearly 75,000 test results Tuesday, some of them months old.
They dumped, I think, 75,000 test results dating back to April. And so it's like, okay, you're required to put this in, and you do it now in this big dump.
More news can always be found, of course, online at usaradio.com or on Facebook as well, at USA Radio. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Now she's gone like a little in a song all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs. Poof, now she's gone like a little in a song all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs.
Welcome back. This is the second hour of What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. And April had to cut out on us. She's got to go do some wifely things.
Oh, let's go talk about her.
Oh,
well, I'm here right now.
Oh, no.
Here. What happened? How did you...
she's smiling
I didn't
and
hang up the phone.
Well, I'm happy to see you.
All right, almost caught Ed talking smack about me.
So I was just like someone else we know. I was just stating something, not something that was real.
Well, it's just funny, too, because you mentioned wifely whatever, and Paul said, "What time is dinner?"
I knew that's what you were preparing to do. So.
Oh, my goodness. He will ask me that, like, right after breakfast. "What's for dinner?"
Oh, that's funny.
So wait a minute. Let's send a message to Paul. You have a sweet wife. Take her out to dinner, would you?
So no, Paul, it's online Tuesdays, right? At 4:00. I was at Papa Murphy's picking up the 2 pizzas, ran them home. They're in the fridge. So that's what I got dinner tonight.
Good job, Papa.
All right, take care of that one early.
I know. I remember you telling me about Papa Murphy's Tuesdays, whatever it is.
Us single parents angle.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. No worries.
Cheapest food per bite.
That's it. And it's good, too. So there you go. There's my endorsement. All right. I like the garlic. That's my favorite. All right. So let's talk a little bit about current events. We like to cover current events in this segment. And I saw a post that actually one of my daughters posted, Jenny did, and it was Operation Not Forgotten. And they were saying, nobody's talking about this. And I said, well, we can talk about it. And I think it's an important topic to discuss. And it is the U.S. Marshals found 39 missing children in Georgia in an operation called Operation Not Forgotten. Authorities, and I have to say, I think that the media is talking about it. It just depends on what media you're listening to, right? So authorities have found 39 missing children in Georgia during a 2-week effort to rescue endangered minors. The U.S. Marshal Service Missing Child Unit led the search, dubbed Operation Not Forgotten. It collaborated with the agency's Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and state and local agencies. The operation resulted in the rescue of 26 children and safe location of 13 others. U.S. Marshal said in a news release on Thursday, the U.S. Marshal Service is fully committed to assisting federal, state, and local agencies with locating and recovering endangered missing children in addition to their primary fugitive apprehension mission. So the message to missing children and their families is that we will never stop looking for you. The article goes on, and I will post this. I don't want to, read the whole thing. I think it's important that you know that these things are happening out there. And they did end up arresting 9 people, cleared 26 warrants, and filed additional charges for alleged crimes related to sex trafficking, parental kidnapping, registered sex offender violations, drugs and weapon possession, and custodial interference. And so I'm going to make my political statement to Black Lives Matter and say, this is what the police do. This is what the police do. They keep kids safe. And so I know that there are some other things that they may not do well. However, I really feel strongly that we need to have a discussion about this and not just try and eliminate a whole group of people that are doing a good job. So
I just think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I mean, people in general, right? The coronavirus. All the things that people did before, law enforcement did before, right? They can't do. Right? Or they're hampered in doing, and people don't give a hoot or see it that way, right? This coronavirus, because of the way they got to handle, talk to people, right? All these things, it's interrupted good deeds like this. Right? And, it's just adversity, right? That's why we keep going back to that adversity thing. But life, I mean, this kind of stuff happens every month, right? Somewhere, right? Well, I mean, we try not to, people shy away from this kind of society or this part of society, but it's so valuable for us to see.
Yeah, and I really just think that it's important that we have to have conversations. We have to have discussions about this stuff. We can't just make blanket statements and one small group, sorry, but they're small. They may be growing, but they're small. They've gotten all these organizations to pile on and say, we're going to do this for you out of fear. That's just not the best approach. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. And not the company, that's personal.
Why? That win-win. Where's the win-win?
Exactly. All right. So my next one is about, and I'm gonna fall into the next segment because we're not gonna have enough time, and I want to cover some more things. The story disappeared on my mail. So during the week I watch stories and I say, what's happening and what am I going to cover on Tuesday, and so I text myself this information. So this one is Antifa on campus and then university professors fueling civil unrest. I hadn't even read the whole article, so I clicked on it a couple days ago, and lo and behold, it was gone. The story totally disappeared. They have wiped this off. The medium said that the person, if you go on the internet, the medium says that the person violated their terms of service. And I'm questioning the fact that why can't we read things? It's silly. It's not only squashing their speech, this person's, whoever it was.
Totally agree with you.
Whether or not they were right, wrong, or indifferent.
You can't squash
it. I don't
it.
care.
Yep.
You can't squash it. I may not like what they say. I may not want to read what they say. I may totally eliminate the article. And if you want to put a little warning like they do on Facebook now, that's fine. Put the little warning there. I'll read it, and then I can judge for myself.
Right.
I'm not two, and I believe I can understand things and evaluate and judge for myself.
Isn't that the essence of the First Amendment?
It is. And
This is certainly an infringement.
You can hear me exercising my right of free speech, because I think that as a company, we've tried to be very neutral, and as a company we are, but as an individual, I need to speak out and I need to say what I think, so I just did. And we're going to say a little bit more. I got a couple other things on that Antifa and on COVID, so come back with us. We'll be right back. This is What's the Story.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LeRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LeRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LeRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LeRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Patterson. I'm the founder and owner of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists. At Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists, we take a comprehensive approach to treating patients with chronic pain in the greater Reno, Tahoe area. We believe in the biopsychosocial model. This means we use multiple disciplines such as massage therapy, physical therapy, behavioral health, and medical treatments to treat your chronic pain. A plan of care is tailor-made for each individual patient. We always recommend conservative care first, but offer minimally invasive treatments when necessary. We are your one-stop shop. If it hurts, we can help. We pride ourselves in providing passionate care and making you feel welcome and understood. We are located in Reno and in Sparks, so give us a call to schedule a new patient consult at 284-8650. Again, that's 284-8650. Or visit our website at nvadvancedpain.com. We hope you choose Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists to be your center for injury rehabilitation. nvadvancedpain.com, 284-8650.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and we've been doing nothing but sharing lots of stories.
Indeed.
And books and all sorts of things. Our first hour was, I thought our first hour was fun and interesting, and
we never know where it's going to go.
That's right. That's right. That's what I like about our show. So I'm going to let current events kind of filter into this segment because I wanted to, the story that disappeared on my phone was about Antifa being on campus. I did find another story about that. It's from the collegefix.com. And it's a renowned law professor, Antifa. He says Antifa is on campus, expel them if they commit violence. But one national security analyst argues the group should not be allowed on campus at all, which I really disagree with.
I do too. You got to let them on. I mean, if you're going to let Southern Baptists on, you got to let them all on.
Right. Agreed. George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley recently warned that Antifa is already on college campuses and said its members should be expelled if they commit violence. I don't object to that. If they commit violence, they should be expelled.
Well, if your mom commits violence, she should be right.
Exactly. It doesn't matter who they are. However, the legal scholar defended the group's right to free speech on campus as long as it remains peaceful. In an August 4th op-ed in The Hill, Turley wrote that Antifa has taken credit for blocking conservative speakers on campus and wrote that the group is often the culprit on university campuses in stopping speakers and causing disruption. He repeated these arguments in testimony the same day in front of a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. During Turley's testimony, he told the Senate committee that Congress must take action to protect free speech on college campuses. And I should mention, Turley is not a conservative. I would say, if anything, he's probably a moderate Democrat or somewhere in that range. I was going to say
liberals are more into banning.
Right. So, but he's not a conservative. So for him to make these kind of comments, and this is probably a conservative website. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm guessing it might be, just because of what they're covering. Antifa and related groups thrive through intimidation, but they prevail through inaction. All that is required for free speech to die in America is for America to be silent. So it goes to what I'm talking about here, and that did inspire me, I must say.
That's a dangerous author, right, to me, to want. So if you want to ban anything, you're not for free speech.
But they're saying that you're talking about Antifa.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Right.
Yes, it is. It's very dangerous. So as a classic liberal on free speech, I would defend the right of students to belong to this group, Turley told the College Fix via email. Indeed, I believe that these colleges would be benefited from a debate over Antifa's values. Of course, Antifa is opposed to such intellectual exchanges. Yet free speech protections are often extended to those who least deserve them. We do not need free speech protections for the most popular in our society, he said. Antifa is the antithesis of higher education, but we cannot protect free speech through acts of exclusion. However, Antifa should only remain on campus as long as members remain peaceful, he told the Fix. So, and you're laughing because?
Because it's like, as long as they're peaceful.
Right.
I mean, I could put that on there. As long as they're peaceful, go ahead and turn over cars in the driveway. As long as it's
that's
peaceful.
Not being peaceful.
Well, you know, the terrible thing that we're talking about here, especially when we talk about colleges and Antifa, is that we don't know the yardstick that we use anymore.
So here's the deal, right? There should be no yardstick.
There has to be.
No, that's free and open, right?
Well, no, it's not free and open, because what the liberal side is saying is that, well, I know they burnt down buildings, I know they were looting, but that was peaceful.
So
here's
the thing. You have it wide open because guess what? Do you think our kids are idiots? I think many are, right? But not all. And I trust them to choose their best path. And when all things are open, all sources, I trust them to choose the path that's going to be good for them.
Okay.
You can't put guardrails on that.
Right. And we'll have to have further discussion because I want to cover this other thing about Blake Shelton. I don't know if you guys know who Blake Shelton is, but not everybody knows who Blake Shelton is. The headline, which I'm not real thrilled about, but Blake Shelton dips toe into QAnon, CDC, COVID, fake news drama, and instantly regrets it. So what Blake Shelton did was he tweeted. He said, "I'm not even sure which side politically this would land on, but am I the only person who sees the new CDC update as some actual good news? Just that, not left or right, just updated info that's better than we thought. I mean, does everything have to be a fight these days?" pretty simple,
Yep.
Innocent, not really innocent because he knew what he was doing, but it is an innocent tweet, right? Good news. The CDC said that it says this week the CDC quietly updated the COVID number to admit that only 6% of all the 153,504 deaths recorded actually died from COVID. That's 9,210 deaths.
Yeah,
now,
that's
you got to dig into the information to understand the whole thing, but the fact of the matter is if you don't have pre-existing conditions and you get COVID, out of those people, only 9,000 of them died, right? That's not a pandemic.
That's what I was talking about, a yardstick. There's
Right.
2 yardsticks right there.
Okay, so now let me give you the other side of that equation because, you know me, I'm always looking for both sides. So this is that side, which is, hey, that's good news. It's less than we thought. Yay, let's celebrate. Well, no, we can't do that because
No one.
according to the Detroit Free Press, no, the CDC did not quietly adjust U.S. coronavirus deaths. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump, of course, we've got to blame Donald Trump.
Yeah. He's at fault.
It's his fault.
Always.
Shared 2 posts that falsely claimed COVID-19 deaths are not as high as previously thought. The post claimed that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention updated its COVID-19 death numbers to show that only 9,210 Americans have died. Twitter removed the first tweet for violating its rules. He posted the truth. They lowered the number.
So that's why Twitter needs to be removed
Right.
now because they are becoming judge and jury.
Right.
And guess what? That's got to go.
Another post from Jenna Ellis, a senior legal advisor for the Trump campaign, linked to a story from the Gateway Pundit, a conservative news website. That tweet was still up as of the publication of this. The tweets misconstrue federal data on COVID-19 victims. Now, who are they to tell us that that's misconstrued?
That was the CDC that came out with it,
right.
huh?
Let me
Yeah.
read the data and determine whether or not that's the case. So they're going to go on to explain it all. As of August 31st, the CDC reported 182,000 Americans have died since the start of the pandemic, and some estimates put the death toll even higher. The agency told us the vast majority of deaths involving COVID-19 can be attributed to the virus. So claims that the CDC adjusted its COVID-19 death numbers appear to have originated on Facebook, an organization that according to VineSite, they're just explaining who it originated from. CDC just backpedaled quietly and adjusted the U.S. COVID deaths from 153 to 9,200, said Amiri King, a social media influencer and a CBD salesman. Why is that important? And an August 31st post that shows a screenshot of King's tweet, which was also deleted, admitting that the numbers were so effed that they were off by a whopping 94%. So all these posts are flagged. Facebook flags them to combat false news and misinformation because we're too stupid to understand anything.
Yeah, I hate that when people tell us what we just watched or what we just read.
And
that's right.
And the CDC has gone from the top of the Roman Empire, right, to now it's the dirt because the message is different. Right. So they've when they said, "Hey, stay at home and, tie yourself to a chair."
I'm not going to get too much into the weeds because we don't have a lot of time, but in the section titled comorbidities, the NCHS wrote, for 6% of the deaths, COVID-19 was the only cause mentioned. For deaths with conditions or causes in addition to COVID-19, there were an average of 2.6 additional conditions or causes.
Per person.
Right. So that data comes from death certificates. So the thing is, if you really want to understand this, you have to go to the CDC website. You have to analyze it, and you have to decide for yourself, how does this relate to me and to my life and how I live and whether or not I'm at risk, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think that this goes back to what I was talking about earlier of don't tell me how to think, what to think, why to think it. Let me read the data and the information and the facts, and then let me decide. So those are my 2 bits on it, and that was what I was trying to tell you about April and Paul. And I have posted that article so you guys can read that, because that's contrary to what Blake Shelton was talking about. So it'll reference all the CDC stuff and everything, so you guys can look at it and decide for yourselves. So that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to share that because I think it's important for people to get facts, and we're not being allowed to. So that's
goes
really
right
bad.
back to the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is, too, some areas are harder hit
Right,
than others.
exactly.
Others may not have a big thing, but everybody's suffering the same, regardless if they have 2 cases in the whole county or
1,000. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that tells me that it is time to take another break. We didn't get to listen to you about exercising, but we'll do that in the next segment.
Awesome.
And then we'll talk fires, too.
Perfect.
All right.
Good.
So we're going to be right back. You are listening to What's the Story? We try and share current stuff and fun stuff, too, even though that wasn't so fun. But we'll be right back.
Have you, a friend, or family member been diagnosed with cancer? Dr. Forsyth at the Forsyth Cancer Care Center offers an all-inclusive program to treat adult types of cancer. The Forsyth Immune Protocol Cancer Treatment Plan, in a current prospective study of over 6.5 years and 1,200 adult cancer patients, has produced a remarkable 30 times greater survival statistic when compared to conventional full-dose chemotherapy. Greater than 95% of all their patients choose low-dose insulin-potentiated life chemotherapy, using only 10 to 15% chemotherapy dosing with insulin. Dr. Forsyth has long been considered one of the most respected physicians in the United States, particularly for his treatment of cancer and the legal use of human growth hormone. Located in Reno, Nevada, Dr. Forsyth has seen patients from all over the world. To schedule your consultation today, call 775-827-0707. That number again is 775-827-0707.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope swelling up from the depths of my soul.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
We are back. And this is What's the Story. And we've been talking about a whole bunch of current events. I kind of
Wow.
jumped it into a couple of segments there. But I thought it was important to share the information.
It
and
is.
Try to give both sides of the issue. And, wherever you fall, that's where you fall. And I'm okay with it. I don't care. But I think it's important to have you know what's going on out there.
Do you fall victim to the same place where I am? I like to think of myself as an independent, where I do weigh this stuff.
I actually know I'm not.
Well,
so I'm going to have to.
I try to be.
No, that's exactly where I was headed.
Yeah.
But I seem to always fall to the right side instead of the left. So.
Well, it depends on the issue, but I have really identified. I used to say I'm totally nonpartisan. I'm totally an independent. That's what I am. But I know I'm not. I can't be. Not with what I do, not with the way I view life, not with having a business. There are just certain things you can't be just in the middle. You can't. You really do take a stand. However, sometimes I'm far right and sometimes I'm far left, which is why we try to say we're in the middle, because, they kind of balance each other out sometimes.
Yeah, right. No one's in the middle, right? If you're in the middle, you don't give a hoot.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's like they say, if you're in the middle, you get hit from both sides.
Well, right. At least if you're out barking, you get hit in the face, right? Either side.
So we had a topic today of talking about exercising, and like I like to do, I like to make it mean more than one thing. And so, but in this case, I know that Ed was out last week. He was off on a kind of a short vacation.
Yeah.
And that had some exercising in it, and that sort of was what prompted my topic. So I know you wanted to share some things, and so I'm going to kind of give you the floor.
So things for me, right? I've always been a jock. I coach Little League and rec basketball and got my exercise with that. As my son gets older, right, I can't compete now, right? I can't jump like I used to, right? All my parts work, right? But as you get older, right, I can probably clear an inch, right?
It's rust.
That teeter guy, teeter guy on TV, that 80-year-old teeter gets more air than I do.
That's funny. I love that guy.
I do too. I want one. I want a teeter. But going back to as young people, right? Do they, they're not like my son Fox. Is he out running 20 miles today and lifting weights? He would be if someone told him to. If one of the football coaches told him to, he would be. He wouldn't be on his own. And I think that most of us fall into that. And as we get older and things might hurt a little more, I think many older folks get old mentally too quick. That they accept that they can't do stuff and that it's a restful space and they can get out of their troubles. And so people get old soon, and it disgusts me kind of, because they have so much life left, right? And we don't push the envelope mentally.
Well, that was my couch potato book. That was why
we don't push it, but we don't push it physically either, right? I mean, I'm out there, right? So we know that I smoke 10 little cigars a day. I'm out there with these folks up in the mountains at 10,000 feet and higher, right? I got to pause and suck some air, right? I am definitely sucking air hard, but I'm pushing the limit that makes me better, right? If I just concede and go, I can't do that, I'm just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I think less of us, like you're out on your bike all right now, you're in that rhythm, you're going. That's a different place than you were a year ago.
Mm-hmm. It is. And I think I've talked about it before. It's the Team RWB. They have a place where you can check in. And that's what made it easier for me, was that I would think about that, go, I can't go, I can't do this, I got to check in. And they don't care. It isn't about them caring if I check in or not. It's something that motivates me to have to do it. Accountability every day.
Right.
And who's going to care about that? I am, when I see on my little chart thing that I didn't check in those days.
And we are so much sharper when we're physically healthy.
Right.
Yeah. I want to disagree with you. I don't think you challenge the limits.
Oh, you don't?
I'll tell you.
Bring it on. I'm good.
Okay. Why do you still smoke?
Oh.
So that has to go to my addiction, right? It's just a buffer between drinking. If I feel bad and feel like drinking, I have a smoke and I'm free.
Oh, you know what? Then pick up coffee. I think that's why
I got that one too.
No, I honestly think that's probably why I have a coffee cup with me most of the time, because it supplants the cigarette going, like this. I've once heard that you never get rid of a habit, you just replace it with something else. And that's exactly what I have done. But you know as well, I'm surprised your son isn't on you about smoking.
Oh, they have been. Right? I mean, you pick your
what
vice.
do they know? We already established we're stupid.
So if you pick if you pick your poison, right, and you have it. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? I got all kinds of flaws, but you do what you can do that's healthy, right? I got a couple of negative things. And
Don't
I
pick
think,
on him right now.
No, it's okay. But and I think everybody does, right? People drink too much alcohol. People drink too much soda. People, are overweight. People have diabetes. People have challenges. It's the same as business. We just need to move the needle. Just do a little more, because I think the good feeling is contagious.
I hear a lot of rationale there.
Okay. We'll do it later. Right now I want to hear about the fires. We got another fire going on here in the northern Nevada area. Yes?
Yes.
Mr. Fire Chief?
Yep. Well, this
Italian chief,
I can make this very, 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 very simple, because we discussed, last week about the fires that are going on. And there's one thing that is a premise in the fire service, and it proves it every week, every day where a fire breaks out. And that's that if the wind blows, you're not going to put the fire out. Well, we can write next week's scenario of the fire that breaks out on Friday or Thursday, because this is right from where it is. It's grown from 1,500 to 2,200 acres, and now it's at 6,500 acres. And they have closed Highway 39. And this is...
which one is this?
This is the Slink fire.
Okay.
Okay. And this
is near Topaz, or it kind of affects Topaz.
Exactly. And it says the fire has been exhibiting extreme and erratic fire behavior due to dry fuel conditions, wind, and topography.
There you go.
And it's going to be, well, one of the things that we kind of had to laugh during the break, I said, you're going to be amazed how I tie this back into last segment's topic that we had. Well, when I was briefing myself on this particular fire, how they're fighting it, I read all of the comments. Well, down in the bed of the comments, there was one that says, I don't know why they say this is lightning caused when the fires are more likely the cause of the secret government agenda.
You gotta love people like that, right?
I'm loving life.
So, but don't you believe people
I'm
like
glad
that?
they didn't bleep it.
No, but people like that on both sides allow everybody else to be normal.
That's
right. I
right.
think so. Yeah. Whatever normal is, right?
Well, more in the middle.
No, I really don't mean to make light of any of these fires that are going on. But I'll tell you what, it is the life cycle of all the brush. It's the thing that's the tragic part about it is that people are moving further and further into the wildland areas.
Right.
And unless you take it upon yourself to make those clearances around you, have a non-combustible roof, and do all of the things that you can do for yourself to help yourself, this is going to happen. So
yeah, it's a sad thing.
And what we don't have any control over is the weather and the winds.
Right.
So
yeah,
we're just going to be subject to it.
There you go.
So they should be better on education, only because, like, people from California
Isn't
don't.
Smokey the Bear is.
Well, no, I mean people in the East, right? I grew up in Ohio, right? You can burn piles of stuff all the time, right? It's a rainforest.
Yeah.
Think nothing of fire, right? You shelter everything from water.
Right.
Right. And you move out here, and I heard, hey, a fire started by a bullet. And it's like, come on, that's as ridiculous as, right? That's as ridiculous.
True. Yeah.
But I wasn't educated.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I've been out west 25 years now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, people from the East don't think fire the same way, and they move out here, and it's different.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, we have quite a bit of population, too. And like we said, they're from all walks of life, and they don't think anything about driving in in the wildland area, smoking in, building fires in the wildland area. You're right. It's an education thing.
It was interesting because we were at a no-burn place, right? It was dry, right, up there. And, usually, it snows or rains and you can have a fire. So us old folks, right, we took up a propane fire and stuck it in the fire pit, and we had a propane fire every night.
Yeah.
We obeyed all rules other than the fact I smoked my 10 cigars, but I did put them out in the fire pit, right? But I'm saying,
He's
right?
ratting on himself.
That's right.
There you go. Wow. Well, we took care of biz there in that segment.
Yeah. Hey,
that was quick.
Brevity.
I can't believe
this
it.
This is the new me.
Can they, I mean, would it work to let every... I'm fine.
All right. Well, okay. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, it is story time. And if you guys have anything else you'd like to add, we can add
like that subliminal message.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Anything at all.
All right.
All right. Last segment, but we're looking forward to having you hang with us if you can. And we will be right back. This is What's the Story?
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media
on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Now she's gone like a river.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story?
I'd like to hear part of that one later.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, just a little bit of off-air stuff filtering on air. So
I just talk. My back's to the clock, right? It doesn't matter on air, off air. We're just talking.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my, that's all I can say.
Isn't it amazing how we all agree, but we always disagree? How does that work out?
So you don't have a mind if you don't disagree sometimes, right?
Well, like they say, if we believe the same way every time, there's only one mind working. So, yeah.
All right. Well, guess what? It's story time, guys.
Ooh, nice. Whose story are we hearing?
Do you have one?
So I have all kinds. What kind of genre you want?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was going to tell you that I found a couple of candidates from the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network.
Awesome.
That would like to come on the show. So we're going to have them on in the coming weeks. One of them, Chantel Kahn, and then Lisa Hansen also. And I think Lisa, or no, it's Chantal, who has, let's see, she loves to solve for X. I loved that statement. What a great way to start, right?
What's she doing now? You want to sell loans?
She says it's been her superpower for as long as she can remember, and whether she's helping a company figure out what type of candidate is best suited for their role or assisting a job seeker in their navigation for the perfect role, she's always on the hunt for the best solution to talent management and acquisitions problems. So that's her story, and
I liked it. I like that. I would I'm interested in that individual sight unseen.
Yep. And all I did is I asked to give me one paragraph and give me your story. Because that's who we are. It's a story. She said, this is for Lisa Hansen. She says, I'm the co-founder of Global Urban Village, an impact investing company that provides consulting and seed investment services to mission-driven entrepreneurs. So we have a focus on Southeast Asia and emphasize working with women-led businesses, help entrepreneurs develop their business through acceleration and investment readiness, support, and provide access to investors. So really quality folks that want to come on, and we're going to interview them in our business spotlight, which we haven't done for a few weeks. So
interesting.
I've been kind of gathering.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah. So I think that will be really interesting. And then my other story is brief, and then you guys can have at it because I know you're itching to talk. It is Teacher transforms desks into socially distanced trucks. So a kindergarten teacher in Texas went above and beyond to make her classroom a fun and safe environment for her students amid social distance guidelines. When Jennifer Birch Pearson learned the desks would have plastic shields, she transformed each one into a miniature truck. Now, isn't that cool? That is a very creative.
That's good thinking.
Yeah, and making it not this, look at what we have to do. We have,
Well, as we were talking, right, teachers, when I was growing up throughout the grades, right? Freshman teachers, sophomore teachers did not this, but other things that they don't do now because it's an added burden to their regular duties.
She set up her classroom desks to look like a bunch of trucks on the road. She even makes the required desk shields look like windshields. The Facebook page Maybe I'll Shower Today wrote in a post, those students who enter her classroom may have a tough time, but clearly they're in the hands of a caring teacher, and that's something all parents can be grateful for. Thank you to the teachers who, like Miss Pearson, are doing all they can and more to make our kids feel safe and happy. So I am posting that story as well on What's the Story page. So take a look at that if you're interested in seeing what those little trucks look like. I just thought it was a very cool thing.
She needs to have some bugs for the windshield.
Well, she might. You never know. Maybe she threw some on there.
Likely they got them wherever she is.
Yes, that's
right. They'll have their own.
Yeah. So I just thought that was a cute story.
Wouldn't it be nice to look at
we always hear negative stuff all day long about COVID and 6 feet apart, all this other stuff. That's just really a good story.
It'd be neat to watch the kids, how they
wouldn't it?
They do. Yeah.
See how they come
be fun.
in and
yeah.
Because I remember kindergarten, when I went to kindergarten, I know I'm old, but, we played piano, we learned to tie our shoes, we did fun stuff.
We had building blocks, wood building blocks. That was cool. Yeah, but
I just remember like the naps.
Did you
I remember nap time quite a bit.
Did you have
like them or not?
a nap mat?
So I think I'm going to tell you that I totally fought it, right? That I was like I'm not sleeping, right, kind of thing. And I don't know. I don't have a lot of memory from that time, so it must not have been that impactful.
Right. Yeah, well, that's all I remember is the piano and they had these things to tie your shoes and,
right.
You were kind of backwards when you were done. And so when I tie my shoes, I'm kind of backwards because you're tying the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was okay. I learned to tie.
This comes under, you never know where life is going to head. And with the fire department, we went to a retirement village, and this elderly lady needed to have the battery in her smoke detector changed. So we did it for her, and I started talking to her. She turned out to be the principal of my grammar school. And I got to ask her, well, how about Miss Smitterks or Mrs. Stone and all of these? And she brought me up to date. Now, this is 30 or 40 years later, and she brought me, Mrs. Smitterks was my kindergarten teacher. She was really old then. And I said, well, how's Mrs. Smitterks? No, and she was going to say, oh, she's been dead for 20. Oh, she's fine.
Yeah, working on a construction site. Right. Took a second job.
That's it.
That's right. Teacher pay wasn't very good back then.
That's right. Well, right, they all worked in the summer anyway.
Well, it was fun times then, It just feels like
But listen to the memories.
Right.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a student who's grown up, who's got fond memories, as do I. Are our kids having that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
They can't even have a sandbox.
But what we perceive and what they perceive are probably two different things.
Yeah.
Maybe they hated the sandbox.
I'm going to tell you, my son would prefer to be in Tron, right? If they were all in an electronic device like the movie Tron, and the school was like a guitar or a computer or something, and they were moving around, he'd really dig that, right?
Yeah, but I think that's the key is we need to ask the kids, how are they feeling about it as opposed to...
Totally agree with you.
Without being dramatic. This isn't drama time. This is more getting feedback. Have them tell stories. Have them share their stories. You'll know where they're coming from when you hear their story.
There's a lesson in life because you can never judge history by today. Right. You have to take it. You have to put your hat on before you can, because of exactly what you're talking about. Today kids being brought up in the electronic time would say a sandbox.
Right, exactly. They may not appreciate it the way we would.
But they miss out on, I think, things that have been important for society about schools and kids is the kid, right? When animals meet, their pecking order's done really quick, right? That's their deal. I'm boss, you're not, right? Well, in school, it takes a while. Our kids aren't allowed to, explore that at all now. When we were kids, we knew who to stay away from and who to help, and we policed ourselves to a certain degree, and the school didn't have to deal with it.
Nope.
Right? That doesn't happen now, right? It's all punishment.
Under the
we can't because they don't allow kids. Right. So I think there's some, and bullying is cruel. However, kids that have survived it do better in life than those that don't. And so there's a fine line
and I think
there.
the problem with that is that the extremes have taken over.
And that's life.
Yeah, but the extremes have gone so far, and there's so much access via the electronics.
Totally.
That you can't, it used to be if you were being bullied, somebody would see it.
Right.
They would know because they would see it happening to you, and then either kids intervened or parents or somebody intervened. Now when bullying happens, it's quiet. And it's hard to...
Maybe, yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
That makes it hard because... and if you're a kid that has pride, you don't want to tell everybody, then you're
Well,
a wimp, right?
what they teach kids today, if you see a bully, Bully, you come and talk to me and I'll take care of it. Well, that violates a lot
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. Those parameters are still there.
Yeah.
The same ones that were there when somebody interceded, but at least you could save face with that somewhat because I would have fought you. Whatever
But
it is.
schools are so naive to think that individual who's a bully, guy or gal on the playground, in 50 years they're going to be a bully in life, right? And there are bullies in life, and we need to help kids, help society around folks, right? I mean, adversity helps people deal with stuff, and there's just no shortcut I can't find. I wish that people could grow up without grief and stress and live happy lives, but seems to me like unless you get that drive from some grief, you have challenges.
No.
Okay, gang, we got to go.
What? Sorry, to end on a positive note there.
Yeah. Well, next week at 3 p.m. on A Pinch of Basil, Florida Congressman Gus Bilirakis joins Basil and me, and we will be right here on America Matters, followed by us.
Yeah. Yay.
What's the Story?
Right.
So thank you for sticking with us, and hopefully you'll come back again next week, same time, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. All the gang will be here.
Love you. Thank you.
All right.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shot.